This life will be on sacred sexuality, conscious relationships and all that jazz. I think I can say the word tantra here. It's ridiculous how PG we have to be, but look, I'm going to hold these till they go off. So, welcome. Just going to give some grace to this person who made this beautiful filter. That brings me actually so much joy. So, to start the space with the tuning forks, remember the time I came on the live and I couldn't even remember the name of what they are? That was very funny. That's me. And it is a very wet day in Ireland today, so this filter is bringing me some light because that is not the vibe that's going on in Ireland at the moment. I'm trying to pull out my cards here. So I made a little mistake. I didn't bring a drink with me and I'm a bit husky. Now, I've wanted to make one of these around this conscious relationships for a while. Cool card. So you can't read back to front, but it says Cali House, number 3, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'll come back to it in a while. So I wanted to talk here. I do find it really hard to talk here around these subjects because my nails are filthy from the horses. Because I find that I can't use the vocabulary, so it does create like a little bit of a challenge to communicate with you. So I just want to announce that a new Temple Arts and Mystery School is very related to the sexuality. Do I have to keep saying it like that? Will we call it something else for this? So I'm going to say the Tantra world, because it is. But like, I actually am going to come on here and talk about the world of Tantra and the world of the s.e.x world, because they're all important. I believe that they are all important, and what I do believe is that a lot of people, are just having, inverted commas, normal God, see, I can't even say the word s.e.x conversations and relationships. And actually most couples, any type of couple, but often the classic male-female couple is not having real in-depth conversations around their needs, their desires, their wants, their fantasies, any of those things. And I actually just feel like I have grit in my eyes. So I feel like it's really important to bring up that these conversations have to be had, and to learn how to have those conversations is really important. And to learn how to have those conversations is starting in the hard places. So, trying to open them up, trying to even say, like, we don't talk about that, maybe we should talk about it. So that's just like a tip. There's so many things out there. Like, you can buy books, you can go and learn online, you can get a coach, a mentor, you can go for healing, you can, there's so many things. So there's no reason anymore that can't be addressed. My belief is that the sexual space of ourselves, if it's not being looked after and addressed, it does become a hinder part. Like, this is like our sacred sexuality is a huge part of our being, and it always has been a really big part of my journey. And it came with the dark sides of it, like the shadow sides of it, the challenging sides of it. It also came with the illumination. I'll tell a story actually. So, and if anyone has questions, during, after, send me a DM and maybe I can do a little bit more of a focused on that. But I remember being a very active person in that area when I was younger. And I'm thinking like, if my son, listens to these things, which actually, like, we have a very, I could talk about anything in front of any of my family, friends, clients, it's a very normal conversation. I'm like, clients is a much easier conversation than having something in front of family. That's why I was kind of starting with family. It's like the family, especially in Ireland, it's not, you just don't really talk about that stuff. But it doesn't mean that I have all the conversations, but I definitely could have the conversations, and we would have had maybe a lot of conversations, or even with siblings. And that goes for the same with my son. It's funny that I was just going to tell you this story because actually I knew where this watch was. It is very old. It's vintage now. It's a D&G. It was like a limited edition. And I kept it. Like, I had loads of stuff over the years that I sold or gave away because they just weren't my vibe anymore. And there was just loads of things that I kept. And I was like, there's something like, I want to keep this. Like, this was probably £300, not English, Irish pounds back in the day, which was a lot of money. Probably if we can kind of turn it into the money today, it's probably something like €1,000. So it was worth something to sell, but it was just, yeah, I liked it. And it's weird. It's like, it's kind of coming out. And so it's funny that I'm telling you this story right now and I'm wearing this watch, because around that time, I was in a relationship with someone, and we broke up, and then I rendezvoused with them at Electric Picnic one time, and I think we just bumped into each other. I can't remember exactly the dates, but and then of course we were like connecting, and we had been together a long time, so like we were like, okay, we will get active together. And I'm very careful about my stories because I don't want to share the other person's story. Confidentiality is really big for me. And yeah, like, it's just like, don't need to be here sharing everyone's public news. So, and then we were there, and like it was nice. Like, we were after hanging out for the day or whatever. And then like, this was like years ago, like 20 years ago or something. And, I was like, no, like, I don't want to do it like this anymore, And my not partner but was partner person was like, what you mean? Like, what you mean? Like, we've done it like this many, 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 many times. And it was a really noticing moment for me, that I knew in myself, and I had been journeying, and that's why I probably broke up with this person. Like, I was going through another transition in my life of changing and spiritual path, and another awakening, another cleaning, another clearing, another ascension, another whatever we want to call them. But I basically said, was just like, no. Like, I was really like a hard no, like no. And I wasn't a person before that couldn't say no to a partner. This is a big piece with the healing of the womb and the healing of the woman. Now, the man has his bit to do, the woman has her bit to do, and the being have their part to do, right? So like, it doesn't matter what gender, non-gender you are, we all have our work to do here. So in this time, I said no. Like, I'm not engaging in this way. And there was a very hard reaction, from him at the time. And, I can't remember if I was drinking. I don't think I really drank back then anymore. But like, there was obviously, but we weren't like really, really drunk or anything. Like, it was just, but there was a no, there was a deep like no from me, and then like, what do you mean no from you? Like kind of like the resistance, the pushing, you know. I'm saying like, you know, that's just normal, because in Ireland that's very normal. I do believe this is very normal across the world for a man to be a bit more like, yeah, of course we're doing it this way and we're going that direction. And so it got weird, of course. It didn't, nothing continued. Everything just stopped. It was just like, okay, full stop. And I don't know, was it that he left or I left first? And it was just like a weird vibe, like, let's pretend nothing happened. And then, I don't know, I just left or whatever, like, you know, can't remember exactly. But like, and then I don't think I ever saw him, met up with him or anything like that ever again. And it was like, oh yeah. And I was like really happy. And, you know, I was going off going like, oh God, like, you know, no wonder, like, no wonder that relationship never lasted and whatever. But, and I wouldn't have regretted my relationship with that person at all. But it just noticed the changing. And it wasn't like what we did before was bad, or what we did before was unhealthy, or what we did before wasn't amazing, or what we did before. It was just like, I was just so different. And that's not what I wanted, you know? And it was an honoring, like, it was just an honoring of myself. Like, I could have totally just done it. Like, it would have been like, yeah, whatever. How many women, hands up, or men, have just done it to get on, to just whatever, like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know? That's like, that's pretty scary and sad at the same time. Yeah, and that it's not actually that just done it thing, like, never really happened to me anymore. And the just done it thing, like left my being, and the just done it thing was just not part of my curriculum anymore. And like, I can't, there was some bits and pieces and things, like, you know, it's not like I had the perfect intimate relationship from then on in. It was just that there was a just different way, and there was just different problems and different So I'm gonna take a break on that story, because that's done. You can have a reflection on that, and I'm gonna read this card and see what it is. I have no clue. I don't really use these cards much. And I'm starting to use them more. That's what's nice. I have about 25 packs of cards, so you understand why. Sometimes, like, I literally have 4 packs right here. Actually 6. I just saw 2 more, and I have more downstairs. I have more somewhere else. I have a lot of packs. I love them. That's what happens when you're doing spiritual stuff for quite a long time. And I think at one point I bought a pack of cards every year for a few years, and then I realized, oh my God. And to be honest, I could buy a million more packs. I just love them. But I was like, okay, this is taking up a bit too much space. I'm finding it really hard to navigate this. I don't know if it's because I'm late, or I'm tired. Ooh, found it. Okay. So, number 3, Cali House. For those who might just skip to the good part. Boom. Okay. So, your strength in the world can only be sustained by the strength and consistency of your intimate world. Okay, I was already freaking out at the word consistency, because I could already see the word intimate, because I'm dyslexic. And I was just like, this is like this card, right? Like, this card. Your strength in the world can only be sustained by the strength and consistency of your intimate world. Like, what the fuck? I love cards. I love them. Okay, in the Toltec world, Kali was one of the best known traditional symbols of the Tunapoheli. Sorry, totally can't read those. We find this word in important archaeology sites such as basically in the Mexico region. The name comes from the flower and the house. the place of, which translates as the place of the house of flowers. The symbolic meaning of flower signifies a much deeper vision of what the place was about. The flower is the classic representation of the mystical vision. Hence, the flower, the s.e.x, was the sacred house or ceremonial center of which seekers were looking for spiritual visions. For me, that already feels a bit temple, but I'm not sure. The root kal means container or bowl and shows the basic function of Kali as the holder of something that is precise. Among the indigenous Wiraraka, I'm so bad at saying your names, I am so sorry, people of North Mexico, the name Caliwe designates the ceremonial center around which the spiritual life of the community is organized. There is a load more writing here, so I'm not going to read all of that, but the general meaning means represents your home, your family life, and your personal intimate world as opposed to your external working and social environment. The house is the temple where you keep what is most sacred for you, and it is the source for renewal of your energy and strength. If your house does not fulfill those functions, that means you need to examine how you are dealing with your intimate world. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there because this is perfect segue into why the world of Tantra and conscious relationships in the home is important. And it is so important because without the flow in your own home, in your own self, fully, your flow in the house will not be good, and your flow in your partnerships, in your intimacy will not be good. So people that have like intimacy issues, relationship issues, can't hold a relationship, can't get a relationship, like that's because your inner house is out of balance. Like, unfortunately, the mirroring thing and the shadow thing from the inside outside and all that it is true. So like you have your own house here, then you have your house in which you live in, or a caravan, whatever, apartment, and then you have your, or hut, and then you have what's in that house. So that's your family, your if your friends you invite in your relationships, your intimate relationships. And so like each step is another area which we have to address. So like the tantric path is, for me, so big because it is when we disconnect from the lower of ourselves. And I kind of feel like the lower of the self really can even start from the belly and then down. So the belly, the sacral and the root, like we have, I'm like, wait now, did I just say sacral? Oh my God. The brain. 3 lower chakras. I'm just going to leave it at that for this moment. Like we have, no, my brain just wants to get this perfectly right. We'll have to come back to it in a minute. I'm just going to have to pause it there. But like we have, no, it's still trying to go there. So anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. And if any of those 3 are not being connected with, in most cases, most of those 3 are not being connected with. Now, I'm going to say that the heart and the throat are very unconnected with as well. Like it's very rare that everyone's all connected up. That's kind of the human path, the challenge. And that's why we have all these practices, like the yogic practices, the tantric practices, the shamanic practices, the Celtic practices, there's a million of the practices out there, right? And there's new modern ones and old ones and fucking new ones coming in and all these things. And like in the end, those practices are fundamentally to awaken, clean and open the channels. And you know, like how are you gonna, like, so if I just use my hand, like we're like our whole body, if you're a holistic practitioner and energy worker, you already are knowing this vocab, but there is some people that may not know the vocabulary. But our whole bodies, and I know that energy workers don't actually really know about body work the same way that I would know about both, because I've studied both. So like not everyone knows everything. It's impossible. I don't know everything. but I do know a lot, unfortunately. So like our hand, like this finger here, you know, like if we go to the Chinese meridian, we have it directly connected to the whole rest of the body. And on a physical level, all the fascia and the bloodline and the nerves is connected to the whole rest of the body. So we already know. And then on an energetic level, energy doesn't just stay in one point. It's energy as a whole being. So it's all connected. This is where we get this whole we are one, because we are all one, because we're just like one big cake, you know, just lots of different ingredients. Hey, Tracy. We are just one big cake with lots of different ingredients. So when I come back to like the lower root chakra, for example, and I don't really talk about chakras a lot, but like it is a really good one if you do yoga or anything. It's like, okay, you know what I'm on about. So everything under your butt, you know what I mean? It's like if that area is just not active, not being used, not being connected, then the rest is not going to work functionally. If your throat is just not connected, then how are you going to get anything from here right, to your heart? Like, how are they going to actually connect if this is okay? The energy will do some kind of a thing. It'll try, but the flow won't be there. The channel won't be there. Hello. So like we have to work on, you know, keeping the connections open. And when I come back to the Tantra work, and I'm just going to say I have never changed this, and it still fits me. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I think I got this for my birthday when I was 18, so it's like really old, and it still fits me perfect. I'm just going to say hats off to myself for still having things that fit me. My shoes from when I was younger didn't fit me because my feet grew after I had a baby. But so like coming back to the body is the first vessel, and if our body isn't in the flow, it's going to be very hard to be intimate with another body in the flow. You know, so we really need to work on the connection, and sorry, I'm playing with my cover. The connection is so much so to do with each part. So like for example, I wanted to mention the word kink because it's a practice that people avoid, like BDSM and kink. And okay, it's not a classic tantric practice. It is very much an old way of I wouldn't say a practice. It comes from a lot of old things. I didn't like just reminisce everything right now, so I'm not going to quote into the history. That's not why I came here, because I'm like, woo. But like, I know that this work is really good. And when you do it in a conscious way with a conscious practitioner and a conscious healing environment, it does not have to be anyway s.e.x. You will, can't say that word here. It doesn't have to be. It literally can be done in a therapeutic way that you can even be fully clothed and have a really expanded experience and healing the body from trauma, karma, you know, juju, bad juju, so much. There's just so much. One of those is shibari, so it's using the ropes. And that's something that I very much believe in, and I find from being a body worker, it's a very good tool to use, creating a pressure and a release. And it's very good for people that have a lot of fear in their system, because it's a lot about surrender. It's also very good for people that have a lot of control or dominance and not to actually be tied up. It's lovely to see a lot of the tribe coming in. Hi. Hello. So that work is really, really powerful work. And it is work. So I was talking about a new temple arts, like it is aspects that we will be incorporating into it. And it's an all woman container. So it creates a really big safety. So it's not like you're engaging with it in the way that there's a lot of education that will come with that. But yeah, the conscious therapeutic healing of BDSM and kink is huge. And I don't really talk about it or demonstrate or show a lot of that here because I find, unfortunately, it attracts a lot of the wrong attention. So yeah, but it is in there and it is in my work. And it's just really big. And for me, I've also taught that work, and when I'm teaching it, it is like teaching it to learn rather than facilitating it as a healing. It doesn't have to be anything to do with orgasms or the bedroom. Nothing at all. Like, it's just a tool. It's just the same tool as I would see breathwork or yoga. And of course, breathwork and yoga, guess what? The reasons is like, okay, you do yoga so you can meditate. And if you meditate, you're doing a tantric practice. Like, where do we think meditation came from? It's all so connected. It's all so connected. So it's all about allowing the body to change, the somatic releasing in the body and the opening and the healing. I feel like there's so many questions that will arise from this. You can send them DM me. If you feel confident enough, comment. But I just wanted to share a little bit about that because it is really, really healing and there's nothing wrong with it. So just coming back to the taboo aspects of talking about those things out loud. Like, I have no problem talking about those things out loud. I would stand up in front of a few thousand people and talk about them. It is totally fine. I have taught the workshops. I have spoken about it publicly. Like, it's fine, in front of family. Like, for me, I get it. I get why the taboo is there. I come from Ireland. But I also get why we need to remove the taboo. As an artist as well, I've worked with those subjects, a lot of taboo subjects, and it's super, super changing for our ancestral path as women, specifically women bodies and a queer body. It doesn't have to be a classic woman body. I don't even know how to say that, but whatever. Yeah, just woman body, just a fucking woman body. Because like the amount of abuse that women have, light has gone off. Pause the ship. I know how to help this situation out. Oh yeah. Okay, give me a second here now. Oh my God, my life is amazing. I'm back. So I was going to finish anyway. So train of thought. Is that the tantric path is... Oh, what is happening now? That's really weird. My phone is like... Did my phone go dark for you? That is so weird. Weird. Oh, it's coming back. Okay. That's very strange. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, okay. To stay focused, to finish, for anyone coming in at the end, my beautiful card, which is amazing, like unbelievably, literally takes color change with the filter. to summarize it, this is about kink, BDSM, letting go of the taboo, the healing therapeutics of it, what's in the A New Temple Arts Women Mystery Temple Arts School. That's why it's called Temple Arts School. It's not Temple Arts because it's just sounds cool. No, Temple Arts are actually very, very tantric and very, very sexual and very, very, I hope I can say that word right now, very priestess. Like a priestess isn't just someone that looks priestessy, or it's so much more than that. There is a huge, huge, huge tantric intimacy part of it, and that is why I hold that high priestess word very strongly, because it's not just goddess is actually not the same as a high priestess. There is a different vibration and it's different services. It's very different services. And medicine woman, it's a different service, and medicine woman doesn't do the same thing as a high priestess, and high priestess doesn't do the same thing as a goddess, and the goddess doesn't do the same thing as the medicine woman, and so forth. So yeah, and I shared a little story about my changing path in the intimate space, and I wanted to try and come on here and try to talk freely as possible. If anyone has questions, let me know, because then I can talk more about them. It's so hard to come on here and to be filtered by the world of Instagram, and to have this conversation, because it's not one that they really are open to. So, and that's also why I keep it a bit very PG. But yeah, good night, friends. I have no clue who's here and who's not here. For those who came on, hello. Hope you actually might get to listen to the whole thing, and I hope you respond to me. Respond to it, and I'm going to just share that as well. The last time, the house is the temple where you keep what is most sacred for you, and it is the source for the renewal of your energy and strength. It is your house. If your house does not fulfill these functions, that means you need to examine how you are dealing with your intimate world. It is like the perfect magic. I'm going to go to sleep soon. I'm very tired now, and I'm very glad I came on here to do this with you, and I can hear the wind and the rain howling outside, and it feels really cozy. So good night, everyone. Enjoy the Tantra talk and the need to change the conversation and to allow it. Yeah, so the question is, do you have these conversations with your partner? Do you have them with your friend? And like, seriously, like things like really deep, intimate conversations. I can't say any of the words here. It's so annoying. I can't say any of the words here. Okay, goodbye. It's so funny seeing so many of this Irish lay people up. It's lovely to see you though. Good night. Bye.